Well, hi everybody, Bill here. You know, in June I decided to purchase a grapple from Everything Attachments. Wasn't crazy, never was crazy about their 100% pay up front policy, but I went ahead and paid on the credit card and placed the order. I was told it would take about 5 months, so I planned on seeing it sometime in November. November came and went, and I didn't hear anything, so I gave him a call, and he said it ought to be another month. So I seriously considered saying, send it next spring. I don't have any use for it during the winter here in Iowa, and I'm glad I didn't. So here we are. It's mid-January, and we're going to pick it up at the FedEx dock. I chose the dock shipment. All right, so we got it all loaded up, and we're going to be on our way home. Really happy to have the grapple. And doggone, I see 4 weeks later the company locked its door. Hundreds of customers lost their money and their order, and they're trying to get their money back through processes. But if you go on and Google Everything Attachments News, you'll find all kind of information on what's going on and how much money they owe creditors. They owe FedEx so much money. I don't know why FedEx even accepted the delivery and brought it here, but I'm glad they did. I hope you're not one of those people that basically got screwed, and I hope you're having good results in getting your money back. Well, let's get this thing unloaded. I'm fortunate to have a heated garage here. You can still hear how the tractor's kind of clacking there because of the cold. Man, it gets cold here in the winter. Not like some of my viewers up in Canada, but boy, I don't know some days why we live here. Holy cow. Well, the forks, let's put them to work. I've always said it. I think the first attachment you want to buy is a set of forks. It's just invaluable on what they can lift and kind of supplement your age as you get older on what it can lift and how it can help you out. So beneficial. All right, we'll get it inside here and we'll get the heat on, and we'll get it unwrapped, and then we're going to take a real detailed look at it. I know a lot of you are looking for grapples now, and I want to try to look at the details on Everything Attachments, because as a manufacturer I'd sure want to try to duplicate that, because they do have a well-built grapple. All right, so let's just do a real quick walk around to show you the way it's shipped. I was very happy with the way it was shipped. There was no damage. I even appreciated the cover they put on it for some reason. Now we're going to wait until it warms up and we can go outside and look at this thing in much more detail. All right, I'm going to try to show you a lot of details on here because I know a lot of you are shopping for grapples now from other companies, and I'm going to point out things that I think are pretty important in your search. And if you're a manufacturer, take a look at this grapple and consider using some of this in your design. The welds, for instance, I'm going to show you those as we go. They're very, very nicely done. The actuator here has grease zerks at the front, here in the back, and that hose can be pushed down, and then you can get access to that. That's not a big deal there. Walking around the back, you can look at the construction on how it was built. I like that steel fence at the rear to maybe prevent a limb or something coming through and damaging my tractor. There I'm pointing out a couple more grease zerks. Now remember, check to see if your grapple comes greased. This one does not. So I was sure to grease it up before I took it out. Take a look at the profile on this thing. You're going to see some examples of where I don't quite get on a log straight. If I can get those teeth around a log, even as small as a broom handle, I can pull it out of the woods or ditches. Look at how he uses multiple layers, and they're tied back to the frame to get really strong teeth. Let's go out in the shop. See, this outside's one piece. Then the middle comes in through here and is sandwiched in with a piece that comes alongside here. It goes back here and it's welded to this. Same way over here. The outside piece comes over to the pipe. Main body is right through here. And then again it's sandwiched in with a piece here over to here and welded in, and that's all the way across. All right, I wanted to bring that to your attention because there's other grapples out here that have just like one laminate, one layer of tooth, and this is stacked up so you have three, especially on those outside corners. You've got an inch protection there. I'm really happy with that. All right, we're just going around here, take a look at things. These teeth, I wish I could show you how sharp they are on camera. And I really like the teeth here he's put in the front. We'll get around to that here in a minute. Here's some more examples of the weld, and then I'm going to call them gussets. I don't know if that's right or not, but he really beefs up that corner of where things come together. It's pretty smart in my opinion. The paint on it is really good. I mean, I really like the paint on it. I think that going to one color black is pretty smart. Black matches everything, doesn't it? Here's how it connects to the quick attach. Looking at the welds in general condition there again on both sides. The little plug there at the bottom, you know where it goes through, and then you put your pin through that. I like the way that's attached. Here's the center of it. You can see how that's welded together and beefed up there in the center. Going along the top there, I'm showing those grease zerks again. I apologize if I'm showing things too often, but I want you to really get a good look at this. You're going to really show these, how much I like these arched teeth pockets. I was able to get a hold of some small brush, and if I could get those teeth around that, boy, I could yank it out of the woods really easy. So I really like that up front. I didn't know that was going to be such a neat feature, but boy, that is really nice. Well, we're getting close to getting it on the tractor now. Here's how I decided to do that. I just moved it out here to where I can get turned around, and then use the forks to do that. And then I dropped the forks off, went around, and then latched onto the grapple and picked it up. There's a nice fit there where it fits the tractor. The little male piece that comes through, and then you drop the pin in. Nicely done, fits perfectly. Well, here it is on the tractor. About time now we'll go ahead and get it fired up, and we're going to put it to work pretty soon. I've greased it. Pins are in. I think we're ready to go and start it up and try it out. Oh, here's how I make my connections at the front of the tractor. Now, I've never had an implement where I've had to run hydraulic fluid from my reservoir in the tractor up through the hoses to the implement and then back and purge the air out. Just common sense to me is open up the valve and move it, and the fluid should find its way through and purge the air out, right? So I was kind of moving the lever there saying, why isn't the jaw, the lid working? And I moved it up, and the fork feature, you know, the tilt and lift worked just fine. There you can see I'm still kind of working on getting fluid through that. There we go. Oh, there's my wife saying it's leaking. So let's shut off and see what's wrong.
There's a nut right down there. We'll just have to tighten that up. Right there. I'm going to explain that I took it off. Just finger tight.
Well, it was just finger tight. So I tried two things. I thought if I could put this bolt in there, would that work? Well, that's a fail. It strikes the other piece of the tractor, so that's a fail. It's out. So then I taped this up with a hydraulic Teflon tape and then tighten that back up, and we're going to be good to go. Now, while I had the thing apart, I really greased that pin up real good, and then I put it back in so I know that's thoroughly greased up there. So let's try it again. I put a piece of blue paper towel to pick up any leaks that I might have missed. Well, you can see, looks good. I've got full range. When I was done with this exercising and getting the hydraulic fluid into those lines, then I rechecked the hydraulic reservoir in the tractor, topped that back off, and now I think we're ready to go out and do something. So I noticed after exercising it, my grease was starting to find its way through. So that was a good sign, wasn't it? And it really came out on this side quite a bit, but that's okay. Grease is cheap. All right, we're ready to go out and do something. All right, I've got a bunch of small projects around my property here that I want to show you an example of how this thing works. This is my first time out on it, so keep that in mind. A little bit different than the brush crusher I have. And look at how I'm just kind of biting down on that log. It's not a big log, but I've got those teeth on that, and I'm just kind of pinching it, you know, by the edge of your teeth, and it picks it up real nice and does a good job. Here I'm just going to demonstrate picking up some brush piles. Just get a hold of them, pick them up, then dump them back off. I like the way you can tilt the grapple forward, you know, with your loader function, where they're the forks usually. Now you can drop that all the way forward and drop all that debris off of there. It gets completely out of your way. And then here I'm just kind of demonstrating how I can use it as a dozer feature. Keep it in mind that the loader rods are fully extended, and if you hit something, you may damage those. So keep that in mind while you're doing that. I left this in because it's just kind of a fun video here to watch me try to get this big log out of the trail here. Much wider than the trail. So I thought it's pretty smart I'd be able to zig and zag my way out of there. This time I have the log well within the jaws. It's not hanging just on the teeth. So we'll get back here, and I think I can zig and zag my way around this. Sorry about the wind. It was a windy day. We're not going to have much more video up here where the wind is so strong. All right, just a little bit further. So close. Oh, yeah, that's it. Just drive through and break it in half. So that tree must have been pretty dry. So what the heck? I just pulled it past the trees, and no damage to the grapple, that's for sure. So I broke it in half, and then I dropped it off in the woods. So that's okay. When I come along these dead trees that I have, nice straight ones, I use those to line my trails. And I also use them along certain parts of my driveway to prevent me from sliding off in the winter when it gets icy. I'll explain that a little bit later. Here was a stump nearby, so I know the grapple's strong enough. I thought, well, I'll drive into it and see what it does. It's pretty dry. It was there a long time. I didn't expect it to be very difficult. But it's kind of nice to have the construction there that I knew I could get a little aggressive with it, drive into it and pluck it out of the ground. And again, look at how I have hold of it. I've just got a imperfect bite on it. Just get a bite on it, and boy, you can pick them right up. Sure is nice. Okay, let's get out here and go down to another area of the property. The power company came through last fall, cut a lot of tree branches. They just let them drop where they fall. That's okay. So it's nice to have the tractor now where I can drive to the shoulder of the road, get down in there and snatch all that up and pluck it out of there and get it over to my pit and get it away from this area. While I'm doing this, you're going to see me backing up the driveway a lot. It's just easier than driving forward. You can't quite see where you're going, and you might push something through the tractor or the radiator. So you'll see me backing up the driveway quite a bit, and it works for me. All right, some more debris in here. Like I say, all I got to do is get that front teeth and just get a hold of something, and out it comes. Sure is nice to clean all that brush up along that driveway. All right, here's a good example how I'm going to use those notches right there. How I'm going to use those notches to grab this tree that's up on the side of that hill. I'm figuring all I got to do is get a hold of that tree with those, and it's going to come right off the hillside. And there it comes. Boy, that's a pretty nice grapple right there with all the teeth around it. Not only on the front, but on the outside front. So you can get a hold of something like this and drag it off a hillside and away from it safely. That's pretty nice. So then I turned the tractor around and just come at another angle and picked it up and grabbed it. I'm going to make a liar of myself because now I'm going to drive forward up the hill. So there's not so much debris here that I can't see. So I'm going to drive forward. All right, let's stop the video a minute. Again, I hate to keep repeating this, but look at how I got the skin of the teeth type bite. Those teeth, you just get a hold of that small limb, small branch, and you're good to go. So it's not holding it very much, is it? But boy, it's nice and firm, and look, I can just drag it up the driveway just fine. So hate to keep repeating myself, but the design of this is pretty darn nice. I'm down to pond here now. My billy goat loves these old rotten logs. It's real soft, so here I want to be kind of careful so I don't crush it. So I'm going to pick it up, again, kind of by the outside teeth there. I'm learning. And then I'm going to take that up to the goat pen, and he's going to eat on that. He loves these things. And let's stop here and take a look. Look at how the teeth dive into this. Now keep in mind, this is kind of a rotten log. But again, it's nice that some of these teeth can really dive into that, and you don't have a lot of problem once you get a grasp on it. Then you can pick it up and take it to wherever you want. My point being, like some grapples, you've got to get it in the grapple correctly to be able to lift it up, move it around. This is pretty forgiving. Just get it in there and chomp on it, and you'll be good to go. So Rico's enjoying the log. He's going to eat on that quite a while. That'll be just sawdust soon. Okay, let's get back down to the driveway now. Now, some of this stuff's too far over the hill. I'm not comfortable driving down that far. So that, well, I'll just use the backhoe and the thumb on the backhoe, and then we'll just pull it up and drag it out and grab it the grapple, and up the hill we'll go. If you've been watching my videos very long, you may say, hey, didn't you live along a tree-lined road? Well, the county supervisors, in their infinite wisdom, decided to clear-cut the right-of-way and take all the trees down to the stumps. And I'm going to have a video coming up soon on property rights. And if you own timber or property, you're going to tune into that, because theft of logs is becoming a bigger deal around here, and they can be removed so quickly if they look like they know what they're doing, especially if you're an absentee landlord. You're going to want to see this video on what my suggestions are and the process and legal process that I'm going through regarding my property. It might be a few months because I want the whole legal process to work out and be done when I make the video, so I can show you the start and the end of it. All right, I'll get off that soapbox. Let's show you just how far I have to drive with these branches and that. It's a nice drive. It's blacktop, but it's a little drive up there. And drop them off. And I'll show you the pit here in a little bit, and I'll show you how I push all that stuff down. So back to the backhoe work, we're going to take a little bit more out of that hillside that I can get a hold of. You may notice I closed the thumb a little bit more, a little bit tighter, so that I can get a hold of some of that small stuff, pull it up, swing it over to the side, and then we'll pick it up then with the grapple. Hey, while we watch this, let's get out some shout-outs. I really want to recognize Aaron and Gary, a couple of binge watchers there the last couple months. I've really enjoyed texting back and forth and visiting. Aaron, he's down there just west of Virginia Beach. And Gary, he's up in eastern Newfoundland, Labrador, Canada. So sure appreciate it, fellas. I bet we've texted back and forth 50, 60 times. I've really enjoyed it. Merrick checked in from Oslo, Norway. How about that? City of Berea 5, he checked in and said hello. Ali from Canada. IT Magic checked in from Raleigh, North Carolina. Boy, I spent a lot of weeks down there in my career. Ben, he's over in Kingsville, Maryland. That's just northeast of Baltimore. I'll be out there this fall. Brad, Glenville, Nebraska. He's just about 40 miles south of Grand Island. He's out there in the middle of nowhere, aren't you, Brad? Tom Boyle said hello, and Real Airplane commented on my pond project, and I'm sad to report the pond's leaking again. I don't know if you want to see videos on what my next step's going to be on that, but boy, a pond is a lot of work and a lot of maintenance. So thanks, everybody, for checking in. Let me know where you're watching from. It's really interesting to see what part of the world you're watching from. Sure appreciate it. Thanks. All right, here's another situation where I want to use the front of those teeth. I didn't know it until I watched the video. Look at the backhoe. It's on the ground, so I'm up there about as far as I can go. But again, I grabbed that grabbed that branch, whoops, and slowed down so it wouldn't hit me or the tractor, and then brought her down slowly and carefully and got her out of there real well. Worked out fine. It spooked me a little bit at first when it came down so quickly, but all turned out just fine. So I pulled it out, turned the tractor around as I've been doing here, and then up the road it's going to go. Again, take a look at the crazy bite I have on that. But that grapple's got such a good bite to it. You don't have to be in there perfect. That sure works nice for me. Here's another location on my property. Buddy Mark and I took some trees out of here last fall, and we left these old chunks here in the ditch. So just want to reach in there and demonstrate how you can reach down and then on top of this stuff, pick it up and remove it from where you want to remove it from. Now, at the risk of repeating myself, let's take a look at this next little video. If you're shopping for a grapple, really look for this design.
They're very sharp, so all I have to do is get these into the logs and they'll pick them right up.
So keep that in mind. That front design is excellent. Really like that. I really didn't realize it was there, to tell you the truth, but I sure am happy it is. Here I'm showing you and demonstrating an example how, I'm going to call it the skin of the teeth, how I can just get the teeth on that log and pick it up. And in this case, I put it on the perimeter of my driveway to keep me from sliding off in the winter when the ice and snow are there. It works quite well. Let me take my word for it. You see, I can nestle it in there a little bit with that, and that grapple gives you such good control of being able to place things where you want to place them. Here's the pit where I've been bringing everything. So I'm just going to back the backhoe up there and shove it down the hill, and it just rots away over the years, and I just keep piling stuff in there, and it's a good place to put it. So throughout this project, I learned quite a bit, and maybe about the intentions of the design of this grapple. I was trying to slide underneath some debris like forks, but it wasn't real good at doing that. So take a look at the design on this. See how that front goes up, 30, 40 degrees? So what I've learned is I've got to tilt that grapple so that that's more aggressive to slide under. I marked the bar there that tells you when the bucket's level to when those teeth are level in relation to the ground. There, take a look. So now I'm thinking I'll be able to slide under things much easier than trying to push my way under. So it's just, I've spent 2 hours on this thing. That's something I've learned and wanted to pass on. So again, keep that in mind if you get one of these or something similar. Hey, I've got to get out of here. Thanks so much for watching my videos. Nice spending some time with you. Stay in touch, everybody. So long.